Hey guys, Ryan from Joe Sporting Goods coming at you. We're here today with Brian Booyah from Bending Branches Aqua. You know, we're launching an exciting new partnership. We're now doing direct shipping to you, our customer, from our website, joesportinggoods.com, with product that Bending Branches and Aqua sells already. So whether or not we have the item here in store, we can still get it for you right on our website. Brian, how long have we been working with you guys? How long has Joe's been stocking your paddles just in store?
A long time. I'm going to guess over 25 years. You know, Bending Branches as a company's been around since the early 80s. We were founded out of two guys' garage in Minneapolis, and so kind of near and dear to our hearts there. But right now our factory's up in Osceola, Wisconsin, which is about a 40-minute drive north of Joe's.
Yeah, that's one of the things I love about working with these guys is that they're a local company. You know, I've been to their factory a few times. I've toured it with Brian, and it's a really cool layout, really cool family feeling when you get in there. I mean, it's honestly, the people that are building the paddles are the people that are out there paddling them at the end of the day at this factory. And it's just a really cool environment. It's fun to go in and see. But we're excited to share with you a few different paddles that Joe's doesn't normally stock, but we can get you now via our website, joesportinggoods.com. So one of these items is the twig.
Yeah. So the twig is for the little tykes. So this is our kids paddle. So anybody, 12 and under is kind of who we're targeting on this. It comes with the same features as an adult Bending Branches paddle would. So this patented rock guard material at the tip of the blade, it's going to add protection, so the paddle's going to last 5 times longer than something that doesn't have that. But it's a great way to get the little ones out and involved in the water from an early age.
Brian, I know you got some young kids. When did you start getting your kids paddling with this twig?
So we got pictures of my oldest when she was 2.5 using one of these. So
that's really cool. So 2.5 to basically 12 using the twig.
Yep.
This is a really cool paddle. I mean, it's not common that you see a kid's canoe paddle, first of all, but to loop in your guys' rock guard that you guys kind of invented, right?
Mm-hmm.
So can you tell us a little bit about what rock guard is?
Yeah, so this rock guard is the tip protection, and that's what really set Bending Branches apart. So when the two guys that founded the company, they were sick of their paddles breaking, so they came up with this material that protects the tips of the blades. It's a liquid material in its raw state. We pour it into the mold, and it's really, really tough stuff. So it can take all sorts of bouncing off of rocks, and it's just it acts as a shock absorber, just like the shocks in your car. So when you're bouncing off a rock or hitting some low ground, you're not worried about the wood taking any of that impact.
So one of the things I love about rock guard personally is that I don't see any of their paddles come back from gouging or impact or anything like that. There's some lower end paddles that we sell that don't have rock guard, that aren't made by these guys, and those are the ones that tend to come back as people want to make warranty claims and whatnot. I think as long as I've worked here, I maybe have warranted one paddle from Bending Branches, and we sell a lot of these paddles. So that's a pretty cool deal. And another paddle you guys do is this guy right here. And this now, you're gonna loop the rock guard all the way up the blade.
Yeah, so this is our Explorer Plus, and so this will be, one of those online exclusives available on joes.com. But that rock guard wraps the entire blade, so we're adding more protection. The other thing we're doing here is we've got a fiberglass wrap on the blade, and again, all we're doing is adding protection. So as you go up in price point, you're getting a beefier, more durable blade. So overall, this is going to be one of our beefiest options. So for the folks that really are tough on gear and you want to make sure that it's going to last, like this is going to be the ticket.
So one of the things I love about Bending Branches paddles is that they're just gorgeous to look at. I mean, the craftsmanship involved here is second to none, and it is just gorgeous. I mean, your guys' quality control is unreal, and the smell is awesome. I love the smell of a paddle right out of the packaging, right out of the factory. So just a beautiful paddle. We got a few different types of wood in here, right?
Yeah.
This model.
Yep, so we're using basswood and some red alder. It gives it a little contrast, makes it look nice, but one of the keys when you're building a paddle is you want to use your harder woods on the outside edges. Your softer woods are typically going to be a little bit lighter. You want to use that as a center point. When you wrap it with fiberglass, you can kind of put the lighter woods, wherever you want, but along the edges is where we're going to have, that's where the most impacts are going to be, so we want the densest, hardest, strongest woods outside there.
What kind of paddler do you see using this paddle?
This can be used for all sorts of paddlers, but it's really the person that's tough on the gear, that is going to be, either putting on the mileage or is going to be paddling in low, shallow, rocky waters, rocky rivers. If you're going on a couple-week trip up to the Boundary Waters, if you know you're going to be out there in the backwoods, it's a great paddle for that.
So good Boundary Waters paddle, good St. Croix River paddle.
Absolutely.
Right in your backyard.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good one. You know, then you move into your guys's, they do all kinds of different paddles. And this is one of the newer ones. You guys launched this a few years ago.
Yeah.
And this is called the Black Pearl. The Black Pearl, super lightweight paddle. And again, just a gorgeous paddle to look at, first of all. But a lot of different things going on here, right?
Yeah, so this is a fully composite paddle. So we got a carbon shaft, a carbon grip, and then a carbon blade, which is wrapping foam. So in other words, foam core blade. And this is gonna be about as light as you can get without being super fragile.
Yeah.
And so this is the perfect paddle for the folks that are doing the long trips. This is what I use more often than not. Super lightweight, it's gonna be easy on the shoulders. So for somebody that's fatigues easily or has shoulder, elbow problems, this is really nice because you're not carrying around those extra ounces. When you're going on long trips, you know, you're gonna take a lot of strokes. You're not gonna feel it as much as you drop weight there.
I mean, this is a significantly lighter weight paddle than this guy here. And this is already pretty light.
Yeah,
This is crazy light. Like, this is paper light. So that's super cool. And I know exactly what you're talking about when you're out there paddling all day and you're using that traditional wood style paddle, and you start to feel it in the shoulders for sure. I could see, like, with this, you know, you get less fatigue and you just feel more comfortable. So great assortment of canoe paddles that we're now offering online, because you guys build so many different paddles. You know, we carry in store here the Loon, the BB Special, just kind of the top sellers that we've sold over the years. But it's really exciting that we're able to launch and offer these exclusive products to our customers online as well, directly from you guys. Moving over to the kayak side of the world, you know, we've sold the Sunrise. That's our number one selling kayak paddle for decades here. And we sold the Jesus out at Sunrises. It's just a great recreational paddle. You know, we also sell the Manta Ray and Stingray in store, just great little touring paddles as well. But you guys offer so much more than that, from just your traditional kayak paddles to your high-end fishing paddles. So everything in between, right? So this guy here, this is the Whiskey. And the Whiskey, again, going back to what we talked about on the canoe paddles, just a gorgeous paddle to look at. And you get a lot of features in here between lamb lock and having these different blades and whatnot. So tell us a little bit about who's used, and what kind of features we got going on in the Whiskey.
Yeah, so the Whiskey is our high angle or our big blade, composite bladed paddle. So when we're making these blades, they're made in our factory in Osceola, Wisconsin. We're taking fabric and laying it into a mold, mixing in resin, and that's it. So there's nothing else that goes into that. It's a super thin, lightweight material.
That's great.
And so the composite blades, one of the things that we've been working on at our factory on the innovation side is this lamb lock. So this lamb lock is the stitching. We're using aramid thread to stitch those layers of fabric together before the blade gets molded. And this is edge protection for a composite blade. So it's holding all the fibers together. It's making sure that, you know, it's impact resistant, abrasion resistant. And so it's gonna make sure that blade lasts longer than something that doesn't have that. So as we phase into developing new product, they're all coming with this lamb lock material. So this Whiskey, when you're thinking about who uses it, we sell a lot of Whiskeys to folks using inflatable boats. So the inflatable kayaks, because they've got the gunnels raised up, you're gonna take more of a natural high angle stroke. So like your pack rafters or your inflatable folks really enjoy this Whiskey. Otherwise, it's a great paddle for somebody that's paddling for fitness. So you want to get your strokes per minute up. You want to get out there and get a good workout. That's not what I'm looking for when I'm on the water, but that's what the folks that are using this are looking for.
And then the other thing that you guys are doing now is your Posi Lock. And the Posi Lock has been around a few years now, but there's still a lot of people that aren't necessarily familiar with it. I love it because it's easy. It's simply easy to adjust your angle and disconnect the paddle, and you know, you're not pressing in on the snap locks.
Yeah, so Posi Lock, that's been around for at least, you know, maybe going on 15 years now, but it's a super simple system. So we got the 2 buttons, you push those in, slide it apart, twist, lock, you can hear it audibly lock into place. It's rock solid. We haven't had any issues with this thing.
No movement in this paddle at all. Like, it is solid.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we stride ourselves on, whether it's, you know, the Sunrise all the way up to the higher end stuff. when we build a paddle, we build the paddles as matching sets. So the male half and the female half were designed to fit with one another, which allows it to feel like a one-piece paddle, even if it has some breakdown parts. So we want it to be tight. We don't want it to be wobbling or flexible when you're paddling.
No, that's horrible. That's the worst thing that happens when you're out there paddling, when your paddle's moving around your hands. So this is the VersaLock that you guys brought out. You know, now we move into the Tango, right?
Yep.
In the Tango, and a couple of other paddles we stock in store will have VersaLock. Okay, so now it's more of a flick, right? And so it's even easier, but it's still a solid connection. You don't get any movement.
Yeah, what's awesome about the VersaLock is it gives you adjustable length. And so this is great if you've got a boat that's got multiple seat heights,
Right.
or if you're sharing it with multiple family members. Someone needs a longer paddle, someone that's shorter needs a shorter paddle. This VersaLock can be kind of that one size fits all. And this is super rock solid. You know, one of the fun stories here is when we were testing this, one of our engineers designed a test where he could flip the lock 25,000 times
Wow.
and then measure how much grip force we're losing. So kind of nerdy, but it was super. We want to make sure that it was rock solid because we don't want that wiggle, that wobble, that
Right.
flop in that connection point.
And that's how you build all your products ultimately at the end of the day. Is you guys test everything to the extreme,
Yep.
and the quality is just unreal, really. So tell us a little about who's using this guy here.
Yeah.
This paddle.
So the Tango is our most popular blade shape when it comes to the composites. So it's modeled after our Stingray, which the Stingray is our #1 seller. So we took our best-selling, injection mold or plastic blade, and we mimicked it in a composite format. So this is the individual that really appreciates the weight savings because it's quite a bit lighter than anything with a plastic blade. But they're not out there paddling for fitness, or they're not paddling super aggressively. So it's just that person that is using something like the Sunrise or the Stingray, and they want that next click up.
Right.
This is available in a number of different blade patterns. And so a lot of times somebody wants to look really cool on the water, and they want the flashy blade that matches their boat or whatever else their PFD.
Yeah, this is a great colorway to match the eyeballs, but it's also high visibility. When you're out there paddling, that's like the #1 thing people see is those blades going up in the air and waving. People always tell me, oh, I need a bright colored kayak, I need a bright colored boat. But I say, it's actually, you want bright colored blades because that's what's waving in the air, right?
Yep.
And so that's really cool that you guys do that on that. Then we move into more of your angling series. We saw a couple of your angling paddles in the store, but you guys offer so much more. And
Yeah.
I know this is a really popular one for you as well.
Yeah. So we were the first company to truly adapt kayak fishing from a paddle perspective. So because of that, we've been kind of the market leaders in that for quite some time. And so this is our Angler Pro. This is the kind of the highest end angler paddle we offer. And so some of the features you get here, we're gonna have that same VersaLock so that you get the adjustable length paddle.
Which is super important for guys that are, on these fishing kayaks that have seats that go up and down different heights. And a lot of guys like to stand up and actually paddle with that so they can get that extension and that reach.
Yep. The other thing that's different about a fishing paddle is the blade is going to be quite a bit larger. And so, a lot of times the fishing kayaks are bigger and heavier. Plus, we're going to tack on some gear, whether it's your tackle box, a cooler, etc. So you actually need more horsepower. So I just think about the blade shape or size being the size of your motor.
Right.
So your paddle's your motor. You got a bigger blade, more surface area here, which is going to allow you to push yourself forward more. We've got that same lamb lock stitching technology incorporated into the composite blades here.
So I could take a beating.
Exactly.
Fishermen throwing their gear around.
And then we've got a tape measure printed on the shaft. And so you can quickly measure your catch.
I only catch the 40 inch.
Yeah, right. So
yeah, cool paddle. All the way around, just a really good collection you guys offer. And we're really proud to be a Bending Branches dealer, an Aqua-bound dealer. At the end of the day, we just want to sell product that is going to be great for our customers to get out on the water and have a great time paddling. Because ultimately we have a shared value in that we just want our customers to have a great time out there paddling at the end of the day.
Yeah, and my big take on that is the paddle is the piece of gear that's going to be in your hands the entire the entire time you're on the water.
Yeah.
If you don't invest in a nice paddle, you're not going to enjoy your time on the water as much. And so I always encourage folks to buy the lightest or the best paddle that you can afford, because it's really going to make that experience that much better.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. 100% agree. Now show us this thing you guys made. Well, this is super cool. This is gangster. We got a laser engraved Joe's paddle with a little hint of bending branches out there. So what model paddle is this technically in your guys' lineup?
It's not in our lineup yet. So we've invested in a laser recently. These guys have been an awesome customer, so we thought we'd test it out and throw their logo on a blade and see what came of it.
We love it. Thank you very much for being here today, and we're excited to move forward partnership. Check out the selection of bending branches and Aqua paddles on our website, joesportinggoods.com. See you in store soon, guys.
Roll the bell.